A thick neck is the new six-pack. Aesthetically, you will look more powerful. It is a centerpiece of a no-nonsense physique. It may not get you more right swipes on Tinder, but you will look more badass. And you probably get more right swipes too.
But there's no man in town half as manly.
Anyways, besides the aesthetic benefits, reduced pain is a huge, there's studies back reduced pain if you train your neck. Performance, think about it, MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're a bouncer at the old kick and stab bar in West by God, Virginia. You got to control that head, or you're gonna leave on your head or be on the ground. You control that head, you get a lot more in sport, whatever. Okay, sport specific. There's been multiple studies that show if your neck is weaker, you have a better chance of getting concussion. So every you increase your neck strength by 1 pound of neck strength, it's been proven scientifically that you will reduce your odds of concussion by 5%. So you imagine, you start adding like 10 pounds of neck strength. Everybody wants to talk about sport-specific training, and they do these stupid drills in the suburban America, and people running around like fools getting nothing done. It's a giant circle jerk most of the time, but the bottom line is if they train their neck, they would be way less likely to get hurt or get an injury. So how did this whole neck training thing start? Okay, let's go back to 1999. Dom Benshia, I were in high school, and we watched the movie Roadhouse like 1,000 times. It was like the greatest movie. Every time we'd go somewhere, we'd like say one of the lines from Roadhouse. It was great.
I wonder if somebody calls my mama a whore. Is she?
Well, anyways, this is classic. We have to go to these kick and stab bars. So we go down to, we live in Santa Barbara, California. So there's a town called Oxnard. It's a rough place. So there's this rough ass bar down there. We thought maybe we'll go to PJ Grunt's. PJ Grunt's is just this rasty, trashy, like bikini bar. The downstairs apparently like 50 some years old, AARP cards, all just not a good place. Drug deals outside, all that mumbo jumbo. But it was like, okay, next to PJ Grunt's, there's a place called the Roadhouse. So we go in there, and lo and behold, we see this pumped up bodybuilder from the gym. This guy, pecking by warrior, but he had a neck like a stack of dimes. He's sitting in there. So he's in there trying to make a move on some Gallatin bar in there, and it was not going well. And some sort of lover's quarrel erupted from there. And anyways, this pretty boy from like a far distance, he looked impressive, but when he got closer, no legs, no neck, neck like a stack of dimes, just kind of a weak, didn't have that no-nonsense physique. So he's in this little lover's quarrel with the bartender, and anyway, he's like a thief in this knife, this old head Mexican dude, big old traps, and just the kind of guy that just, you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley, to say the least. He sees it, and obviously he's got some kind of romantic thing going for the bartender, just runs over and gets involved. And it was crazy. It's like this dude, his traps, they were like cobras, ready to strike this thick neck. He walks up to the pretty boy bouncer, puts his hand behind his back and says like this. So obviously the pretty boy guy could have taken a cheap shot, but he knew not to do that. So this guy's like, he's like, you can leave on your feet or your head, pendejo. So this dude's like, he knew to leave. So he gets the F out of Dodge, and Dom just turns around and looks at me and says, it's gotta be the neck. And so right then and there we knew that the neck was all, so we talk about being gas station ready, but a lot of times it doesn't come down to actually being like tough if you got the look just to diffuse a situation. It's a wonderful thing. All that being said, we are excited to announce a partnership with Strong Neck. So we've brought you the exercises in the Neck Training 101, Tactical Shield, and those are the best. It's like the utility pickup truck, but now it's not only the utility pickup truck, but you can do it in style and comfort. So this thing it's you get all the great exercises, but it's gonna feel a lot better. So we'll show you some of that, and we're excited to announce a partnership with Casey, and that's how the neck movement started. So here we go. We hope you enjoyed the story about the neck movement and its genesis. However, let's talk about some more utility concepts here. So we have Nick DeLeo right here. Nick is a great guy, longtime client of mine, very strong guy. He's not only the strongest realtor in Dallas, he's one of the strongest human beings in Texas. So anyways, Nick's in the Army, And you know, in the Army, there's sometimes you know, red tape you got to deal with. So like, they're not always going to go off of like, you know, old school BMI kind of stuff. So one of the things is like, I've talked before many times about the benefits of neck training for the tactical athlete. But one thing is, the one way for the, you know, not have to like, you know, get sent off to fat camp, for lack of a better politically incorrect term. Fat camp's a real thing. Get your neck bigger. And you get your, so they do that, tell them the measurement.
Yeah, so in the military, or at least in the Army specifically, we have weight requirements based on your height, and it has nothing to do with anything else. So fat or muscle doesn't really matter. So ever since I joined, I have been over the weight requirement every single time, which means I had to be taped every single time. Tape around the waist, tape around their neck, put it in a calculator, you either pass or fail. So if you can't get your waist down or don't want to get your waist down because you're strong, you get your neck bigger.
That's why you use something like a strong neck. So it's not just like safety in the field of what you're gonna encounter. It could be like sometimes, you know, in anything, like when I train tactical athletes, all about beating a test. Like you get this promotion, you keep your job, whatever, if you pass this test. And one way to do it, if you're, you know, you're yoked up, pleasantly plump, or somewhere in between, is with a thicker neck. So that's where things like the strong neck is. And Nick's never actually tried this device tonight. He's done a lot of these exercises, and he's a tough bastard, doesn't complain about the pain, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I know it doesn't feel good. So let's give it a shot.
Excited.
Yep.